Здравствуйте, мои дорогие зрители! Сегодня я вам покажу просто особенное для меня видео. Мы с вами сегодня побываем в различных турецких, очень колоритных магазинчиках, и турецкие продавцы расскажут нам очень вкусно, ароматно и очень интересно про их турецкие товары. Я хочу сказать, что я получила огромнейшее удовольствие, это просто фантастика, то, с какой любовью и удовольствием продавцы рассказывали и показывали мне свои изделия. В общем, я получила огромное удовольствие. Просто мурашки по коже, честное слово. И, в общем, где это все сегодня происходило, сейчас я вам все расскажу. Сегодня мы с вами прогуляемся по улочкам Гранд-базара, потому как это место является, пожалуй, одним из лучших, где вы можете прочувствовать местный колорит, местную ментальность и, в общем-то, понять сам Стамбул. Гранд-базар напоминает собой восточные рынки, которые все хоть раз видели в фильмах. Находится он в самом центре Стамбула, в исторической части, в районе Султан Ахмед, недалеко от Голубой мечети. И является одной из самых посещаемых достопримечательностей в мире, так как, согласно подсчетам, ее посещает в течение дня около 500 000 человек. Поэтому я бы сказала, что сейчас те люди, которые путешествуют в Стамбул во времена карантина, чувствуют на себе, насколько это уникальное время, на самом деле, для туризма, потому что людей на улицах действительно очень мало, и вот в Гранд-базаре можно по-настоящему насладиться его эстетикой. Гранд-базар или Капалы-Чарши является одним из самых больших рынков во всем мире. Он был построен в XV веке, когда Османская империя завоевала Константинополь. И, в общем-то, был построен не только как место торговли, а также как символ величия, мощи и силы Османской империи. Покупать тут что-либо стоит очень осторожно, только если вы точно знаете, что сколько должно стоить, пропуская мимо ушей названные в несколько раз больше цифры продавцов. Но в любом случае тут обязательно стоит прогуляться, как я сказала, для того, чтобы прочувствовать стамбульский колорит. И лучше всего сразу выделить на прогулку несколько часов. Убедиться в необъятных размерах Гранд-базара и разнообразии товаров можно, побродив по его путанным улочкам, зайдя в ковровые магазины на пару чашечек местного яблочного чая, послушать продавца с гордостью демонстрирующего свои изделия, с ловкостью фокусника, создающего настоящее шоу. Дальше зайдите угоститься еще парой чашечек чая в магазин ламп. Затеряйтесь среди этих огней и красок, откажитесь от настойчиво предлагаемой 5-й чашки чая за день и выскользните снова на улицу базара, чтобы пройтись по магазинам керамики. По пути пройдя лавки специй и сладостей, где обязательно будет стоять продавец, буквально заставляющий вас попробовать всякие турецкие вкусности. А если вы устали, можно присесть в местной кафешечке и выпить чашечку бодрящего крепкого кофе по-турецки. Среди различных лавочек и магазинчиков особенно колоритно смотрятся магазины турецких ламп. И если честно, ощущение, будто бы ты попадаешь в сказку, заходя в такую вот маленькую лавочку, каждый сантиметр которой усеян всевозможными разноцветными изделиями из цветного стекла, всевозможных текстур, узоров и цветов. Ну и, естественно, конечно же, заходя внутрь любого такого магазина, тут же появляется продавец, который начинает тебе рассказывать о том, что совсем тут рядышком, недалеко от Гранд-базара, есть магазин, в котором гораздо больше места, гораздо больше выбора, куда можно пройти и рассмотреть еще больше ламп, еще с большим выбором и многообразием. Я, естественно, ничего не собиралась покупать, о чем продавец прекрасно понимал, но мне так было интересно посмотреть на этот магазин и послушать про лампы. И, в общем-то, я не удержалась и согласилась. И буквально в 2 шагах от Гранд-базара действительно устроился такой роскошный, большой, двухэтажный магазин ламп. И, ну, если честно, я получила просто невероятное, огромнейшее удовольствие просто от того, что я там побыла. Самое интересное, что когда ты оказываешься вот в такой ситуации, первая мысль о том, что от тебя будут чего-то хотеть. Будут хотеть, чтобы ты что-то купила, что-то приобрела. Но я бы сказала, что вот такое вот зазывание в свои магазины, это больше связано с таким вот турецким менталитетом турецкого гостеприимства, когда людям просто очень интересно рассказывать о том, что они продают, и, может быть, действительно в виде комплимента за их радушие тебе захочется что-либо купить, ну или хотя бы просто получить от этого удовольствие, поделиться этим удовольствием со своими друзьями, знакомыми, и кто знает, может быть, в будущем действительно это приведет к какой-то покупке.
These ones are traditional Turkish lamps, and this mosaic one. These ones are very popular with the mosaic one actually. In mosaic one, since 15th century, it started already in Anatolia. They used to make mosaic from candles, not with electric, of course. With the candle, they used to make mosaic one, this kind of thing. This one we called mosaic. This colorful glass ones, or this ones, or this ones. This glasses inside has one simple glass like that type, and after these pieces one by one sticking with the glass glue, and after they cover with the black cemented, so to making more shiny, more nicer. And also the metal ones, every design of this one is symbolizing something. Everything has a Turkish traditional design. For example, you can see these ones are Ottoman design. You can see the stars and the flowers. This one tulip. It's all symbolized of Ottoman Empire, Turkey. And this one is different art. This one we called copper. And this is filigree work. This one is coming from east of the Turkey. In east of Turkey, ladies are making these ones by hand completely.
By hand?
By hand, yeah. All these ones done by hand. And you know, this one filigree. Most of ladies they know because they make earrings, necklace, from the filigree work. So this is same thing. We make lamps, and that type lamps are different. This ones we call blowing glasses. This one's all hand blowing glass. If you can look at very well, this ones none of them are same. All are different because those are real hand blowing glass one, not the machine blowing glass one. And there another ones are this type.
Yeah.
This ones we call actually this one like a Middle East design. This one you can find in 4 different countries. You can find in Egypt, in Morocco, in Turkey, and in Syria. So you can find that kind of art. This one's like we call Middle East design. And
It's also from Ottoman Empire.
Designs. Just not completely actually, to be honest. This ones are we call this ones are modern design, and this one rainbow. This one rainbow design. This one, for example, Anatolian design. You can see there's a tulip and a carnation. This one also and that one also. But this one and that one, no, those are like more modern design. And what else?
So like 600 years ago, in Turkey there also been such kind of lamps, yes?
Yes, but not with electric. They used to make with the candle and the glass, blowing glass as well. There are some blowing glass. Even if you can go to Topkapı Palace, in Topkapı Palace you can see the blowing like a glass. They used to make candle in all the place you can see. But right now, of course, we have electric, so we are making with electric. And these ones are also, for example, this is another art. These ones are laser cut, and these glasses, if you can look at like clearly, these ones are blowing glass, blowing into the metal. It's hand blowing glass.
Blowing into the metal.
Yeah, it's blowing into the metal.
Yeah, it's like really like a piece of.
Yeah, you can see it's blowing into the metal. It's hand blowing glass. This is different art.
Beautiful. So how much cost lamps?
So price range, it's changing a lot because there are small lamps. There's a huge chandeliers. It starts from like there's $20. It starts from $20 to $7,000 to $8,000 chandelier because Depends of the size and of course depends of the workmanship as well.
So, for example, like, can you tell, like, for example, yes, starting from small, yeah?
For example, look at this one. These ones are like $30, and there are some smaller size ones, like this size, but with like this size. Those are like $20, and these ones are coming with any different colors. For example, let's say if someone they like this material, if they want to have different colors, just like this, we are changing glasses. For example, let's say if you like this color, very quickly we are changing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And these glasses are very strong, very very strong. You can see. 1 second.
Oh my god, wait. Oh my god.
Here you can see.
Oh my god. Wow.
Very strong glasses.
Oh.
And this one's of course when people are taking this one in airplane, we are packing nicely with bubble wrap and we are making hand carry bag so people can easily take this one to their home.
Okay, and which lamps like cost around like $10,000, for example?
For example, this one, this huge chandelier. This one $8,000, for example.
One lamp. One
Yeah,
lamp?
completely.
Ah, all the.
Yeah, all this one. This
Ah,
one
yeah, I see.
chandelier, yeah.
It's a big.
And there is this one, for example.
So this is how much?
This one is $7,000. And it's including shipping actually. We're shipping to all around the world. So we have a contract with the DHL, FedEx, UPS. So all the time we do shipping these ones to other country. So we have a great contract. So we're shipping these ones to our guests' house.
Nice. Really great. So there are like how many lamps like around?
There are over 43 or 45.
43 or 45. Wow. Ну что я могу сказать, это просто фантастика. У меня просто море эмоций от того, что я зашла в этот магазин, и совершенно неожиданно мне прямо провели настоящую экскурсию и разрешили это все заснять. Очень интересно было послушать о том, сколько разных техник существует, о том, что это действительно все ручная работа, посмотреть на то, какое действительно крепкое это стекло, сколько различных способов существует, чтобы создать вот такие самые разные лампы. И то, что в принципе интересно, то, что 500-600 лет назад люди украшали вот такими лампами свои дворцы и дома. В общем, удивительно. Очень советую просто хотя бы зайти вот в такой магазин и просто посмотреть, потому что, это, я бы сказала, одна из самых ярких достопримечательностей Турции.
Teşekkürler Sena.
Sana da teşekkürler abi.
Eyvallah.
Sağ ol. When
The carpet, right?
Yes, just tell me.
Okay. These are the silk with wool carpet. These are all modern rugs. All of them is made from Turkey. It's made from Gaziantep. Maybe you hear about it. It's from Kurdish part of Turkey, and it is. These are all natural, all vegetable dyes. This one. These are the color. This is onion skin colors. For example, we have inside turquoise color. Turquoise color is coming from on the sea, you know. And these are the purple one. All of them is taken from the dye, you know, the real one. And this carpet is look. Yeah. For example, here is cotton, and the basis is silk with wool. This one. Look at that one.
Oh my God, this
Yeah.
is really beautiful.
That's a silk on silk. It's pure silk. This silk coming from is cocoon silk. There is a small ladybug. It's making a silk. It's coming from there, you know. Look, even French part is the silk.
Wow.
Everything is silk.
Oh, this is
When
really,
you
really beautiful.
when you feel this carpet, just feel the rocks. It's like a baby, you know, like a baby. This one. It has a special burgundy color, nice turquoise color. It's very special piece. Look, and I show you one. This one is. This is patchwork design. This is patchwork design. Yeah, this has a different feeling. For example, this is flowers design, and this is from coming medallion design. You know, medallion design is the real Ottoman design.
Medallion, real.
Medallion, real Ottoman design.
Wow.
That's a very
Oh my
special
God.
piece.
This is
Yes.
gorgeous.
This is, it's beautiful blue color. This one. This is a real Sultan design. This carpet. Long time ago, before the Ottoman, there was a Selçuklu people. Selçuklu people were making this carpet for the Pasha. You know, for the
Pasha?
Pasha. Yeah, this carpet. Look.
Who is Pasha?
You know, Pasha is the biggest person on the Ottoman places.
It's like
know?
Sultan.
Like a Sultan.
Yeah.
And I show you one.
Oh my God! Wait! I want to film it. It's so beautiful.
That's a special piece, yeah. I'll show you this. This one is
Oh my
it's
God!
very beautiful. Look, it's real. This one is the real medallion design, real medallion, and this design is the real Ottoman design.
Wow!
This is a real Ottoman design.
Oh my God!
Look,
It's so beautiful.
yeah. You know, on those carpets, the best one is the silk carpets. Okay, this is silk with wool. This is pure silk. This is for the not very high traffic area. You have to use this carpet like a very special area what you have in the house. You know, this one. Show you. And look at the now. Now you see the dark color, and
Yes.
now you see the light color.
Wow!
Did you see?
Yes, I
Yeah.
see it. Yes.
Magic carpet. Look,
Wow! Yes.
look. From here is you see dark,
Yes.
and from here, look. It's special piece because of the quality, you know.
Wow! It's really beautiful. Do you have real Ottoman silk carpet?
Yes, real Ottoman silk carpet. For example, this is real Ottoman silk carpet. Just
Oh
feel
my
it.
God.
It's
Oh my God.
very special piece. This one. Look, from here like that, and from here it's changing color. Can you see that?
No, you know.
Look,
Yes, I
Yeah.
see. Yes.
look to behind. It's
Yes.
very special.
Oh my god, so beautiful. So it's really like pure
This is
silk.
real pure silk. This one.
Yeah.
And the design is, this is Vazo we call.
Vazoviko?
Vazo. Vazo design. This one.
Vazo.
Look. Beautiful piece. And look this one.
Uh-huh.
This is also real medallion Ottoman carpet.
How much does it cost?
This one is cost of this one is $6,000.
$6,000.
This one
Oh
$6,000.
my god. It's huge. It's like 2 meters and
2
how
meters
much-
by 3 meters. This one. This is
Wow.
2 by 3 meters.
It's huge.
And when you look from here, this is Caucasian. This is coming from Kurdish part of Turkey. Kurdish people mostly they make the carpet with red color.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and look, it has a like in a kilim design we call, but it's real, handmade, beautiful Ottoman carpet also.
Nice. Kurdish.
Yeah, this is Kurdish,
Kurdish.
and there is a green one. Can you see that? This is we call shawl design.
Shal?
Shawl design. Shawl design is real, also Ottoman and the Selçuklu design. This one. This one, the mostly people using like in a shawl design. Look, from here is this is a, we call shawl design. Look,
Uh-huh. Shal.
shawl means a pashmina. The girls are using from the Ottoman time. This one. Yeah.
So in which era usually people place these carpets?
This one is coming from like mostly Uşak area and the Kayseri area, for example. And here, this is coming from Kayseri. This is real Kayseri silk.
Kayseri,
And-
it's a name of area of
Yeah,
Turkey.
exactly. And look at the here. This is the name of the rocks. Who made it?
Oh wow.
Yeah. This is the signature of the her. Signature of the her. This one.
Wow.
Look.
There's so many details.
Yeah, it's so many details.
It's also silk, yes?
Yeah, this is also silk. But this silk not very good quality like this because this is cocoon silk. And this is normal normal silk we call this one.
Normal silk. Oh my god. So beautiful.
Flying from the Odessa, Lviv, and
So this piece, $230.
yeah, this is $230. Of course, we have different color, different design.
So beautiful.
$720.
$720.
Yeah,
True Ottoman silk
yeah,
carpet.
Ottoman silk.
Also $720.
Yeah, $720.
Okay. Yes? Voila.
Okay.
Focus, focus. Wow. It
Yeah.
really changes color.
It really changes color. Yeah. Look,
Oh,
like a diamond. Those are.
yeah. Really. Oh my god. Amazing. It's gorgeous. Turkish hospitality.
This is Turkish hospitality. This is apple tea. It's sugar inside.
Sugar.
Yeah, you don't need to put sugar because it's already sugar.
Okay.
You know.
Beautiful.
For example, when you go to a store, you cannot understand the silk because look, this is also silk, but people can't tell you this is like $700 or something. People can't tell, but this is not. This is $350.
Why?
Why? Because of the this is quality. Of this quality. This quality and this quality they are not same. This one it has a 1200 knot per square inch. It's all double knot and all natural silk. For example, this is half is natural silk, half is chemical silk. Okay. And this one people also selling for $700, but this is not. This was $350. Yeah.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah. Look this and look this.
Yeah. Yeah, you can feel it. And
Yeah.
this even those carpets are thinner. Is this
Thin-
more thick?
Yeah.
It's also Japanese.
Yeah.
Mm.
This is a. You know the good things. If it is thick, the carpet, that means it's little less expensive. But this is thin.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can
For
see.
example, this is thin. This one and this one, they are same quality. This one. Look,
Yes, I see. Wow.
change color.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, this is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the same price?
Same price.
Wow.
Same price.
Палац
Door.
Топкапы.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
When you go there, you're gonna see. All the carpet has a history. I told you.
Wow. So it's the same carpet in the Palace of Topkapi.
Yeah.
Wow.
This one.